So for notes with combining like terms, once we're finished with these, you will want to glue them into your strategy section. So combining like terms. When an expression contains like terms, it can be simplified. It can be simplified to a shorter expression by combining like terms into one final term. We are going to use the commutative property of addition that allows us to rearrange the order of the terms if necessary. The commutative property says 2 plus 3 equals 3 plus 2. So all we do is flip the order because those are both equal statements. Okay, so we're going to simplify the expression by combining like terms. So let's break it down into our different types. So the first type we see are with x's. So right here, the first one we have is 5x. Do we have any other x's? We have a negative 7x. And there are no more x's. The next one we have are y's. And so we have a positive 2y. And we also have a positive y. And then last but not least, we have our constants that are like terms. So we have a positive 8, we have a negative 10, and then we have a negative 4. All right, so we have organized the terms together, and now we are going to combine using addition and subtraction rules for integers. So right here we have 5 plus negative 7, or you could think of it as 5 minus 7. So they're different signs, so we subtract and keep the sign of the larger one. So we would have negative 2x. Then we have for our y's, remember this has a coefficient of 1, even though it's not written. So we have 2y plus y, which is a positive 3y. And then over here with our constants, 8 plus negative 10 or 8 minus 10. Well, those have different signs, so we have to subtract. So 10 minus 8 is 2, and then keep the sign of the larger one. So then we have negative 2 plus negative 4 or minus 4. Well, those have the same sign, so that means we're going to add them and then keep the sign. So that means it ends up being negative 6. So finally, for our simplified expression, we're going to put this in alphabetical order. So that means our x's come first. So we would have negative 2x, and then we have a positive 3y, so plus 3y, and then last but not least, minus 6. And that would be the simplified expression. All right, what I want you to do now is pause this video and try these practice problems. Once you're finished, I want you to come back to this video and check. There will be step-by-step solutions. Okay, number 1, we have negative 2a and then a negative 10a. So if we have negative 2 minus 10, or you can think about this as negative 2a plus negative 10a. Negative 2 plus negative 10 is negative 12a. So we've taken care of those two terms. And then we have positive 5 and then minus 1, so that would give us 4. So our simplified expression would be negative 12a plus 4. Number 2, first one I see is a y, so we have 5y, and then we also have plus 10y. Well, 5 plus 10y is 15y. Next, we have an x, so we have negative 9x. There aren't any other x's, so I'm going to move on. And then I have a constant, which is a positive 18. So let's put these in alphabetical order. So that means x is going to go first. So we have negative 9x, then plus 15y, and then plus 18. Number 3, I have 1/2 x plus 1/2 x. Well, before we add or subtract with fractions, we have to make sure we have common denominators, which we do. So we have 1/2 plus 1/2, which would be 2 over 2x, or which is just simply 1x. and most simplified, we would just write it as x. We don't have to write the 1. So we took care of those, and then we have a constant of -6, and we don't have anything else. So in alphabetical order, we would start with x and then -6. Number 4, the first one we have is a. We also have a -a or a -a, and we don't have any other a's. So a minus a, well, this is the same as 1a minus 1a. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So those cancel out because they're 0 pairs. Then we have b's. So we have 1/4 b plus 3/4 b. First, we have to check for common denominators, which we do. So that means when we do 1/4 plus 3/4, we would have 4/4 b, or in other words, 1b, which simplifies to just b. And then we also have a constant left, which is -13. So let's put it in alphabetical order. Well, our a's cancel out to 0, so we don't have to write that. So that means we'll start with b. So we have b, and then our constant -13, and that's it. Number 5, we have 1.5x, and then we have plus 3.5x. Well, if we do 1.5 plus 3.5, 5 plus 5 is 0, carry the 1, and so then we have 5. So this is the same as 5x. Then we have our y's, so we have -0.25y, and then minus 0.75y. Well, these both have the same sign, or you could think about -0.25 plus -0.75. And so when we add those together, we would get 1, and then we keep the sign. So that would be -1y, or in other words, just minus y, because we know that 1 is implied. All right, let's write it in alphabetical order. So we would have 5x minus y. Last but not least, number 6. We have a constant first, so we have -15, and there are no other constants, so that's it. Next we have 4r, and then we also have a plus r, so that would be 5r, because remember that coefficient of 1. And then we have 2.1s minus 0.4s. Well, when we subtract 2.1 minus 0.4, if you need a little scratch work, we would borrow, so this would become a 1, this would become 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. Carry a decimal point and then 1. So that's the same as 1.7s. Now in alphabetical order, so r comes first. So 5r plus 1.7s, and then last but not least, minus 15. So now make sure to glue this in your strategies section.